Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing overstay in the United States. For those who are unaware, overstay means you've gone into the U.S., for example, on a U.S. tourist visa. You had 6 months of lawful status. Usually it's 6 months. That's the way most people go in these days. And by the way, that is not automatic. As we've discussed in other videos, it's basically only 6 months because the Customs and Border Protection officers that adjudicate folks at the point of entry don't want to keep resetting their stamp, so they just set it the next day over from the prior day so that it's always 6 months out, because that's the max amount of time allowed on a tourist visa to America, so they just stamp folks in with that 6 months. It's not automatic. Folks think that it is. It's not. But the reason for this video, I saw a recent comment on our channel, and I thought I would do this video to kind of put that into perspective, quoting directly, "In America, visa overstays are not tracked. People don't do border runs, they just never leave." Well, yeah, overstays are tracked. They are in fact tracked. Kind of hard to see it, I will grant, and yeah, as we've discussed in other videos, there probably is something to be said for, or maybe I should say, enforcement of U.S. immigration law and policy is a little bit lacking at the moment, for lack of a better term. That being stated, I'm not over there, so I'm not going to go any further than that, because that's just sort of beyond my ability to make a personal observation, because I haven't been in the United States for quite a long time. That said, the notion that overstays are not tracked is just categorically incorrect. Overstays are very much tracked. The immigration system knows when people come in. A lot of folks don't think they are, because you don't really go through an immigration checkpoint on the way out, insofar as they don't stamp you out the way, for example, they do here in Thailand, where you get stamped out. They see you've overstayed. Generally, they fine you at that point, possibly detain you, depending on circumstances, and then they deport you. It's all sort of one fluid motion, and they just say, okay, you've overstayed. They may stamp your passport, and off you go. You'll be entered into the system here in Thailand as an overstay. In the United States, oftentimes people just leave, and they think, oh, they didn't see that I overstayed. Yeah, they did. They know. And they know, as we've discussed in other videos, there's a system similar to the so-called APP system, the Advanced Passenger Processing System. Flight manifest with all of the relevant biometric data is given to US CBP on the way out for folks that are leaving the United States. And they're aware who's coming and who's going. So yeah, in point of fact, overstays are monitored. Now, I do get that maybe this comment was made a little bit sarcastically and pertaining to, again, issues surrounding immigration law enforcement in the United States. That's kind of beyond the scope of this video, but I wanted to make this video just to dispel any misunderstandings that there might be. Yes, very much so, overstay is tracked in the United States. Overstaying in the United States can also lead to what's called a legal ground of inadmissibility, which would thereby preclude somebody from returning to the United States for a given period of time. Usually that will be dependent on the amount of time one overstayed in the U.S., and then they'll be given a certain period where they are effectively, quote unquote, blacklisted from coming back in the USA due to that prior overstay. It may be possible to go ahead and have that overstay, to have that ground of inadmissibility based on a prior overstay waived by using what's called an I601 waiver. Again, depending on the circumstances in the case, may be possible to get that waived and be able to get that person back into the United States. But make no mistake, overstays most certainly are tracked by the U.S. immigration apparatus, and there are consequences associated with overstaying in the USA.